Welcome inside the first 2017 edition of Buc Update Central, the weekly ETSU athletics highlight show. And I'm Parker Schwartz. Well, as always, we take a look at men's and women's basketball this time of year, but these teams had to be road warriors. In fact, the women's basketball team had a lengthy trip down in Alabama. The men's team, with two contests in Macon and Charleston, will send it over to the Citadel with a look at how the men's team fared. Against Duggar Baucom's run-and-gun offensive team, it was the Bucs who controlled the pace. A dominant 115-71 win started with a 7-0 Buccaneer run. That was pretty indicative of everything that happened in this one. Jason Williams with the tray ball to keep it going. Devontavious Payne also with a make from downtown. ETSU 10 3-pointers, giving the Bulldogs a dose of their own medicine. And just before the half, Hunter Mosquera-Perea with a rim rattler. David Burrell had one too. Why not, right? It was a 56-38 game at the half, believe it or not. An even better second half offensively for ETSU. 59 points in the final 20 minutes. Tevin Glass and TJ Cromer with double-digit point totals, along with Payne in the second half alone. 115, the most points in a regular season game for the Bucs since they defeated Oral Roberts 117-91 in the 92-93 season. A stiffer test Saturday on the road in Macon. ETSU 3-0 though against the Bears last season. Nip and tuck in the first half. Devontavious Payne breaks a tie to put the Bucs up 3. Later, ETSU's DeSante Bradford with a jumper, part of a 9-2 run, and the blue and gold only a 3-point lead though going into the locker room. A rough and tumble second half. ETSU relinquished their first lead in Southern Conference play this season. Rion Holland is really good, played for Coach Forbes at Wichita State, and Mercer now up 7. The Bucs got a big liftoff from DeSante Bradford. After that, TJ Cromer in front of his Georgia family with a huge trifecta, and the Bucs hung on for another gritty road win. Steve Forbes has solved the Bob Hoffman puzzle so far. So the Buccaneer men's hoops team is now 13-3 on the season, an impressive mark. In fact, it's their best start in over 20 years. They have two contests coming up this next week, at home against UNCG on Thursday, and then Saturday they host Western Carolina. As for the women's team, we mentioned that they had a lengthy trip to Alabama. Well, that's because their Saturday game was postponed to Sunday against the Bulldogs. Before that, though, they played Mercer down in Macon. Mercer, one of the best teams in the league, a challenge for Brittany Ezel's team, who amassed a first-period lead, with Shamaria Bridges nailing the jumper to end the period, but Mercer took the advantage in the middle of the second. The Bucs fought back again, though, on the back of Bridges, and we are tied at halftime. The big problem was the final stanza. ETSU outscored 23-11 in the frame without a response for Kalia Lawrence, and ETSU fell 72-55, still eyeing their first SoCon win. The next opportunity came on Sunday where the ice melted. The Bucs played a much better game in this one. Down 9, engage Shamaria Bridges. She finished with 23 points on 5 3-pointers. The big reason the Bucs walked away with a win. She even made this ridiculous shot before the half to get the blue and gold within 1 point. Second half, all ETSU. Morgan Martin, the transfer, gets on the stat sheet. And for good measure, Tiana Tartar makes sure it's a happy bus ride back to Johnson City. The Bucs win 69-57. That's their first SoCon win of the season. On next week's show, we see how the men's basketball team did against UNCG in Western Carolina as they look to stay unbeaten in the Southern Conference. As for the women's squad, they have a tough test on the road against rival Chattanooga on Saturday. Until next time, I've been Parker Schwartz for Buc Update Central.